How is everybody doing today? We are back with another Dark Souls 3 build. Today, I have a pure Dex build. Now, in the past, I had done Dex builds before, but that was a Dex bleed build, where the big part of the build was to get that bleed proc and get the ton of damage in there, while also having your weapons do regular damage. The bleed was the main focus there with the 99 hollowing and all that. But today, I bring you a pure Dex build to show you the stat lineup. That's not the stat lineup. This is the stat lineup. It's still a SL155, same level as I did my previous character. I just switched the stats around a little bit, obviously. The key things here are the strength and dex. You need 24 strength to wield the one curved greatsword that I'm using, and the 50 dex gets your dex high enough to where your weapons hit pretty damn hard. Next, vigor 50. I like it up there just so you can take a lot of hits. As you can see, I almost have 1800 health. Big fan of the big health pool, especially against, big great swords and hammers. Allows you to take a few hits before, getting killed. 30 endurance. I'd say at least 20-25 endurance, just so you can get a lot of attacks in. Most people think you can't get many attacks, and so after 3 or 4 swings with your greatsword, they'll try to attack you because they figure, oh, he's out of stamina. But no, you can get 5 or 6, I believe, in with this. Vitality. You can mess with that a little bit. I just put it that high so I could wear the armor I'm wearing because I like the way it looked. And besides that, you don't need attunement, you don't need intelligence, faith, or luck. So you don't need to touch those. And as you can see, we have decently hitting weapons. Right now that is the one-handed stat you're seeing for the R1 weapon. But let's get into the actual build here. Rocking the Refined Exiled Greatsword plus 10. I've never used this weapon for a build, but I've seen other people use it, and it looked pretty fun. And it hits pretty hard. Let me just two-hand it for you real quick to show you the full two-hand damage. As you can see, 266 plus 315. This thing hits for like 581, 580, something like that when it's two-handed, which is huge. That's pretty much my Lothric Knight Greatsword unbuffed. It's right up there with it, so it's very good. And unlike the Lothric Knight Greatsword, this thing has a nice, curving swing, so it's a lot quicker to come back around and hit for that second and third swing, which I really like. And its weapon art is a classic spin slash, just like the Wing Knight Halberd, if you know what that weapon is. Next, the Frayed Blade plus 5. This is the katana you get from Medeir's Soul. This thing also hits really hard, but it's weapon art that made me choose it. You'll see a little bit of that in the PvP to come. Down here, I just went with 2 classics because I feel like every build I do needs to have a shield. And why not have a shield that when it's equipped is restoring your health? Like, why not, right? Along with it having decent stats and the classic 100% physical resistance. So I figured, why not, right? And Simple Kaisis, you probably already know, when it's equipped like this, the shield, it restores your FP instead of your HP. And it's like the best parry weapon in the game, so if you're going to have a parry weapon on you, why not? Not really much to explain there. It's kind of a staple, these two, in a lot of my builds. Now, the armor is purely aesthetic. I like the way it looks, so I went with the sun, or not the whole build, but the sunset armor and helm for these 2 pieces, and the Fallen Knight trousers, and the Helva's Gauntlets. I had the sunless leggings here, but I was a little bit overweight, so I had to switch it. And the Helva's Gauntlets do look nice with it. I was surprised. I didn't think they would look good. I kind of wanted, some gauntlets with some poise, since our trousers and our helm don't give us that much poise. Now, I know poise doesn't matter too much, but it helps a little bit, so I figured why not go with that. And they look badass. Rings, it's kind of classic, right? These are probably 3 of the best generic rings to have, since this build really doesn't need rings like a Magic or Faith build does. I went with those, all plus 3. And to complement our shield, Sun Princess Ring to gradually restore HP. These 2 together, the ring and the shield, if you walk around for a minute or 2 without getting hit, you actually can restore a good chunk of HP. And as always, our cheeky little throwing knives, especially those people that like to put on Tears of Denial. Once that pops, 1 throwing knife, and it's all over. And I reallotted my flasks to give me more HP instead of FP because we're no longer a mage or using faith, so I don't need as much, and my weapon arts don't consume a ton of FP, so usually 1 or 2 flasks gets me through. And you always get 1 of each flask back after you kill an invader or a host, so don't forget that. Man Covenant doesn't matter. Well, just real quick, I want to show you the weapon arts. two-hand, right? It's almost like a parry. So a lot of people think you're going to parry, but if you hit R1 out of this, it does an overhead whip with a decent amount of range, as you can see there. And that hits, I've had that hit for 300, 400, 500 HP on people. So it's very nice, very surprising. I've actually won a few fights with it too. And then you also have this quick slash. If they get comboed with that, it can hit again for 200, 300 damage. Very, very neat. And then this, like I said, just a classic. Not that, but classic whirlwind. What I like to do with this is I like to, go throw like 1 or 2 of those in there, and then, try and draw them in, and then go for the full combo, because if you don't, it's very hard to get someone to bait it or buy it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Both these weapons, unlike many of my builds where I have like a main weapon and then some side weapons, honestly, I've been having a lot of fun with both these weapons, and I consider them both main. It's really what you're feeling, right? Depending on what they got, what you got, both weapons, you can pretty much win most of your fights with just that weapon. Again, I like to have a little moveset variety, as I've said in the past, so that's why I got 2 weapons, at least in most of my builds. Anyway, guys, that is going to be it for the intro portion here. Let's jump into some PvP so you can see this build in action. Alright, everybody, that is going to wrap up the PvP. A lot of fun. I've actually been having a lot of fun with this build. More than I thought I would. In the beginning, it was scaring me a little bit because I really wanted to do a Dex build. And these weapons weren't getting it done. Like, I couldn't hit anyone with the greatsword. The katana wasn't doing any damage. But after some refining and upgrading the exile sword to refined, making it hit a little harder, I started winning a ton of fights. I believe when I was recording some of the matches, I actually had a six win streak where we were in some fight club and some dude was summoning people in, and I killed 6 people in a row before I eventually lost. So and that was all, honestly. I think most of them were with this frayed blade. I think one was with the greatsword. So it takes a bit getting used to, but once you get used to it, man, you can easily take down any type of build. So that is going to do it for this episode, guys. I hope you did enjoy, and we'll see you very soon with some more Dark Souls 3.